Today let us start new topic, condensers. As we know that in Rankine cycle, this is the phase diagram for Rankine cycle. Here process 1 to 2 is the isentropic expansion in the turbine. Process 2 to 3 is heat rejection in the condenser. Process 3 to 4 is isentropic compression in the pump. Finally, the process 4 to 1 is heat addition at constant pressure in the boiler. These things we already discussed several times. Particularly in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the process 2 to 3, which is heat rejection at constant pressure in the condenser. The advantage of condenser is it will improve the efficiency, because as we know that in the process 1 to 2, steam will expand. After expanding through the turbine, the expanded steam we are not sending out. Instead of sending out, again we are reusing the expanded steam by passing through the condenser. Again I am repeating, after expanding at point 2, we are not sending out. Instead of sending out, we are passing through the condenser. In the condenser, the water vapor mixture will be converted into liquid. That liquid will be compressed in the process 3 to 4 in the pump. Again from the 4, it will send to the boiler in the 4 to 1 process. Okay. Because of this, since we are reutilizing the expanded steam by using condenser, it will increase the efficiency of the Rankine cycle. That is the advantage of the condenser. Normally in power plants, we use shell and tube heat exchanger. This is also known as a condenser. In shell and tube heat exchanger, it will have a shell or vessel. So this is the shell or vessel. Inside the vessel, there will be a number of tubes. Here in the first figure, you can see there are bundle of tubes inside the vessel. Inside the tubes, we send water. Generally, this water temperature is 20 degrees to 25 degrees centigrade, because we use regular water. Once the steam flows over the tubes, due to the temperature difference, the steam will be converted into liquid. Okay. Here the advantage is, generally for steam, specific volume will be very high. For example, if you take at 0.1 bar, the specific volume of steam is 19.9 meter cube per kg. If we condense the same steam, the specific volume will be reduced to 1.016 into 10 power minus 3 meter cube per kg. Here you could see there is a huge decrease in the specific volume in the condenser. Because of this less specific volume, in the process 3 to 4, we can use the small size of pump. Again I am repeating, if the specific volume is low, we can use the small size of pumps. If the specific volume is high, we need big size of pumps. But here, since we are using the condenser, it is reducing the specific volume. So in the Rankine cycle, in the process 3 to 4, we can use small size pumps only. That is the advantage of the condenser. As you can see in this figure, the condenser, it will have a two pumps. The first pump is cooling water pump. Here you can see in this figure, so this is the cooling water pump. The function of cooling water pump is, it is used for circulation of water inside the vessel. As we know that, here you can see this is the shell and tube heat exchanger. It will have a number of tubes. Inside the tubes we need to send a water. Okay, to send water we require a pump. Since we are sending the cooling water by using pump, this pump is known as cooling water pump. Okay, the other pump is feed water pump. It will be there at the end of the condenser. As we know that the process 2 to 3 in the Rankine cycle, the process 2 to 3 is the condensation process. After condensing, we need to pump the water again to the boiler in the process 4 to 1. So this pump is known as feed water pump. Okay, here two pumps are there. One pump is to send the cool water inside the tubes. The other pump is to send the condensate to the boiler, that is feed water pump. The other important thing is cooling tower. This is very important. Here you can see the condenser is connected to the cooling tower. The use of cooling tower is, as we know that the steam will flow over the tubes. Okay, once steam flow over the tubes, the water inside the tubes take heat from the steam. So the temperature of the water inside the tubes will be increased, so that it will come out from the condenser. But here the use of cooling tower is, instead of sending out, we send that hot water into the cooling tower. Okay, here in the cooling tower we pass a cooling air. Okay, this air take heat from the hot water, that will be again converted into cooling water. That water again it will be sent to the condenser. Okay, here the use of cooling tower is, again we are reusing the water. Okay, for example, let me tell an example. Cooling water requirement in the power plant, it is approximately 5 to 8 kg per kilowatt hour. But generally power plants are, it will be around 3000 megawatts. Okay, for kilowatt itself it requires 5 to 8 kg cooling water. Just assume that if we, for 3000 megawatt we require huge amount of water. Okay, that is wastage. So to reduce that wastage, by using cooling tower we are reutilizing the water. So that is the advantage of the cooling tower. Now let us see types of condensers. There are mainly two types: surface condenser and jet condenser. In surface condenser, there is no direct contact between the steam and water. For example, shell and tube heat exchanger. As you can see here, this is the shell and tube heat exchanger. Here the steam will flow over the tubes. Inside the tubes the water will flow. Due to the temperature difference, the steam will be condensed. Here there is no direct contact between the steam and water. That is surface condenser. There are two types in surface condenser: down flow and central flow. The other thing is single pass or multi pass surface condensers. The second type is jet condenser. In the jet condenser, there will be direct contact between the steam and water. So that is the jet condenser. Here two types: low level jet condenser and high level jet condenser. Again, the low level jet condenser further divided into counter low level jet condenser and parallel low level jet condenser. We will see one by one. Now let us see counter flow type low level water jet condenser. As we know that in jet condenser there is a direct contact between the water and steam. Here you can see this is the schematic diagram. It will have a shell or vessel. As you can see here, from the bottom the steam will enter into the vessel and it will move upwards. At the top the water enters into the vessel and it will move downwards. Again I am repeating. Steam from the bottom entering into the vessel and moving upwards, and the water from the top entering into the vessel and moving downwards. So since both are moving in opposite directions, it is known as a counter flow type jet condenser. Moreover, inside the vessel both water and vapor mixing directly, so it is a jet condenser. After direct contact between the water and steam, the steam will be condensed. That condensate will send to the tank. So this is the tank. From the tank we send this condensate to the boiler. Here, as you can see here, to maintain a level inside the tank, this tank is connected to a overflow pipe. So here you can see at the bottom there is a overflow pipe. If there is extra condensate in the tank, that condensate will send to the cooling pond. This cooling pond already it will have a water. That water will be sent to the vessel. Okay. Here the flow of water into the vessel is by thermosiphon only. Once we suck the water, automatically without any help of the pump, this water will enter into the vessel. Moreover, the other important point is generally some amount of air dissolved in the steam. When steam gets condensate, that dissolved air will come out. So that will take out from the at the top of the vessel by using a extraction pump. Okay, this is the working of the counter flow type low level water jet condenser. Now let us see the other type of jet condenser is parallel flow type low level water jet condenser. In the name itself it is there. Here flow is parallel. So this is the schematic of the parallel flow type. Here also there will be a shell or vessel. Here both steam and water entering from the top of the shell and moving to the same direction. So it is called it as a parallel flow type jet condenser. As you can see here, so this is the steam. It is entering into the shell from the top and moving downward direction, and also water. This one also entering into the shell from the top and moving downward direction. Both are flowing in same direction, so it is called it as a parallel flow. Moreover, here also both water and steam mixing directly, there is a direct contact. After contact between the steam and water, the condensate will enter into the hot well. From the hot well, the condensate will send to the boiler. Here also, like previous case, to maintain a constant level, this hot well is connected to the overflow pipe. If there is any extra condensate in the hot well, that will be sent to the cooling pond. Since this cooling pond already have a water, that water will be sent to the vessel. Okay, this is the working of the parallel flow type low level water jet condenser. Here, but for counterflow arrangement, the efficiency is higher than the parallel flow type. The next type of jet condenser is high level jet condenser. As you can see, this is the schematic of the high level jet condenser. This type also it will have a shell or vessel. This vessel at bottom connected to the pipe. This pipe is known as tailpipe. The height of tailpipe is normally it is more than 10.36 meters. It is equal to 1 bar. When this tailpipe is connected to the sump, the water does not move upwards much. And also, because of this height, it will create a vacuum. So the entire system works on low pressure. This is the advantage. Here you can see steam enters into the vessel from the bottom and moves upward, and water enters into the vessel from the top and moving downwards. So both are moving in opposite direction. Actually it is a counter flow type. Again I am repeating, steam from the bottom entering into the vessel and moves upward. Water from the top enters into the vessel and moving downwards. So both are moving in opposite direction. So it is a actually counter flow type. Here also, like a previous type, to maintain a level, it is connected to the overflow pipe. If there is any extra condensate, that will be sent to the cooling pond. So since cooling pond already it will have a water, that water will be sent to the vessel. But here, if you observe carefully, here we are using pump to send the water into the vessel. Here we are using the pump instead of thermosiphon. Now let us see the other type of condenser, surface condenser. Here there is no direct contact between the water and steam. Here I am showing two-pass surface condenser. As you can see in this figure, it will have a bundle of tubes. At the end, these tubes bend and it will move like this. Okay. The water will enter into the tubes and steam flow over the tubes. There is no direct contact between the water and steam. This total setup is placed inside the shell. At the bottom you can see schematic diagram of the two-pass surface condenser. The water will flow inside the tubes. They take turn and it will move again into the tubes. So here there are two passes. So this is top one is one pass and at the bottom second pass. So it is called it as a two-pass surface condenser. Like that it may have number of passes. So like this it may have a number of passes. If there are number of passes, that type of condenser is called multi-stage surface condenser. But here in this particular case we have only two passes, pass 1 and pass 2. So it is called it as a two-pass surface condenser. Now let us see the working of the two-pass surface condenser. Steam from the top enters into the shell and it will pass over the tubes. Due to the temperature difference between the steam and water, the steam will be condensate. That condensate we extract from the bottom. Okay. Here the water inside the tubes take heat from the steam, so the steam will be condensate. So this is the working of the two-pass surface condenser. Now let us see the other type of surface condenser is downflow surface condenser. Before explaining this type, as we know that some air is dissolved in the steam. When steam is condensate, it will liberate the air. That air we have to take out from the condenser. Okay. For that there are two types, wet type vacuum arrangement and a dry type vacuum arrangement. In wet type vacuum arrangement, the steam is also sucked along with air. In case of dry type vacuum arrangement, only air is sucked out of the condenser. Okay. Now let us discuss downflow type surface condenser. It is a dry type vacuum arrangement. So here this is the schematic of the downflow surface condenser. Since it is a surface type condenser, there is no direct contact between the water and steam. Here also it will have a bundle of tubes. The steam from the top flows over the tubes and it will be condensate. That condensate will be collected from the bottom. Okay. When steam passes over the tubes, the steam will liberate the air. That air here we collect by using the baffle plate. Okay, here we are extracting only air, so it is a dry type vacuum arrangement. So this is regarding downflow surface condenser. The next type of surface condenser is central flow surface condenser. Here also it will have a number of tubes, bundle of tubes. The steam from the top enters and flows over the tubes. Here the steam enters or flows radially inward. So we collect the air at the center, so it is called it as a central flow condenser, because steam, some amount of air is dissolved in the steam. When it gets condensate, the air will be liberated from the steam. So that air is we are collecting at the center, so it is called it as a central flow surface condenser. Okay. After condensate, that condensate it will be collected at the bottom. Okay, this is regarding central flow surface condenser.